Stop starting over. Stop reinventing yourself and just learn how to transform. Hi muses, welcome back to my channel where we talk about how women can have their cake and eat it too. I'm your host Nadeen, and I'm here to rebuild the village women once had so we can have the right conversations and create lives that feel as good as it looks. Please like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss anything. Everyone and their mamas are talking about glowing up and planning for the new year, so I just want to say, stop starting over. Stop reinventing yourself and just learn how to transform. Be, do, have. 3 words, remember it. In order to become who you want to be, you have to exist as her, do things as her, then you will have what she has. Most women think their biggest glow up of the year happens in January. It doesn't. It starts right now, in the quiet moment where you're finally honest with yourself about who you've been, who you're becoming, and what you truly want. Maybe you're feeling a little defeated and unhappy, or maybe even a little lost, or you've just been rolling with the punches that this past year has just kept throwing at you, and it's made you lose your spark a little. So if you're watching this, I know you're probably a little tired, and you're probably also kicking yourself for letting another year go by when you know you haven't even scratched the surface of your potential. So if you want this next year to feel different, to feel more you, let's talk about how you can start prepping for the greatest comeback of your life and finally be the girl you've always wanted to be. As always, no gatekeeping, so let's step into it. I am no stranger to the bed-rotting, no motivation marathon. Okay. And it can feel really debilitating because you want to do things. You want to be productive. You want to keep up your routines and good habits. You want to meet your potential and live your dream girl life, but you just feel mentally stuck. Like your brain is playing tug of war on whether or not you should even try to do something, because part of you feels like you've tried before and failed, and the other part of you is saying that you can't do it, so why even waste your energy? But then it is so hard watching other people live your dream life. And so you feel like you owe it to yourself to try again, because you know that could be you if you just got out of your own way. And so you're always picking back up and starting over, picking back up again and starting over. And that is exhausting. We're no longer going to do that anymore, okay? Because it hasn't been working. And the definition of insanity is doing the same things over and over again while expecting a different outcome. Something needs to fundamentally change. I want to share with you something that changed my entire approach to reinventing myself, and it's be, do, have. See, most people think you have to do everything first. You got to make the money first. You got to study first. You got to get in shape first in order to have the things you want. The man, the love, the money, the lifestyle, the vacations, the peace and stability. And when you have all of that, then you become the version of you you've always wanted to be. But I hate to break it to you, it actually works the other way around. You have to become her first. And I don't mean materially, I mean mentally and energetically. You have to think like her, feel like you are already her, adopt the traits and qualities the dream version of yourself already has. So then you can act like her, make decisions like her, speak like her, take on her hobbies, the way she treats herself and others. You do what she would do. Then you will have what she has, because our thoughts and actions define our reality, not the other way around. I also wanted to share that your life moves in emotional seasons, and you are always in one of 4: stillness, becoming, expansion, and integration. But you need to be aware of where you are in life. Stillness is when you need to slow down, when you need reflection and clarity. Becoming is where you experiment, reset routines, test new habits. Expansion is where your energy peaks and everything you do compounds, and integration is where you stabilize, refine, and maintain what you've built. These seasons follow your nervous system and your emotional bandwidth. And if you're really in tune with your body, you might realize that it actually does start to follow the winter, spring, summer, autumn arc. The biggest mistake we make: we try to bloom in stillness season. We try to heal during expansion, and we try to reinvent, start over, or rebuild when we're emotionally exhausted. So I'm going to share with you my best tips for each of your emotional seasons as you take yourself through this be, do, have transformation. Stillness. This is when you quiet down your mind and your body, cozy up in bed with your iPad and a cute little cup of tea, and you get to work designing and creating your future self. This is where the fun begins. Let your imagination run free. Think about all the things you want, and then we are going to reverse engineer this process. Think about who you want to be and what you want in the next year, and then ask yourself, why do you want this? The most common motivation trap is when you focus on the what instead of the why. When you are hyperfixated on what you want without realizing why you actually want it, even when you get it, you won't feel fulfilled. Do you actually want to get in shape and be healthy? Or do you want to get in shape because you want to walk into the room and feel like the hottest, most confident, magnetic version of yourself? Do you want to wake up early because the internet told you that's what put together it girls do? Or because you're tired of your life feeling chaotic and you crave more control? Your motivation matters. Your real motivation. Maybe the one you're too scared to admit publicly, but until you get ruthlessly honest about it, you will always self-sabotage. So step 1, define the woman you're becoming aesthetically, emotionally. How does she walk? How does she handle stress? Who does she surround herself with? What does her life feel like? That is the blueprint. Step 2, your motivations, the real ones. These will be the reasons why your reinvention sticks. Think about what this next iteration of you will give you that your current version isn't. Is it safety, confidence, belonging? Figure it out. Okay. Step 3, this next bit is my secret sauce to how I hit all of my yearly goals and targets. Define your goals and then break your year into quarterly sprints. Your life will change faster than you can imagine. I really recommend reading The 12-Week Year. As an anti-hustle and burnout girly, I still find it important to get things done for a sense of fulfillment as long as you are not overworking yourself. The 12-Week Year essentially talks about how we can reach a lot of our goals way faster, but we need to cut out the unnecessary noise. Because when you treat 12 weeks as 12 months of the year and you give yourself an accelerated timeline, your mind tends to focus on tasks that actually move the needle. I call it trimming the fat, like you're only doing the most effective bare minimum to get you to where you want to go. And even if you don't reach your goals in those 3 months, you would be way further ahead than if you just planned your goals according to the year. So what you do is you have your big goals for next year. You break them down into 4 smaller incremental goals that will help you achieve your big goal, and then assign 1 small goal per quarter. And then you pick 1 to 3 supporting repeatable actions that you can do every single day. For example, next year you want to get started on social media. Think about what 4 smaller quarterly goals can help you get there. So one of your quarterly goals could be to post consistently on Instagram or TikTok. Then think about what actions you need to take in order to do that. Your repeatable daily actions would be to post once a day or post 3 times a week, or to post 5 stories a day. So now all you have to do is focus on your actionable items for 3 months. You build out this plan for all of your big goals and you will end up with an action plan for the year. Now, for your becoming phase, here's the truth no one taught you. You don't need a dramatic glow up. You need a consistent one. The woman who becomes unrecognizable next year, she doesn't overhaul everything in one night. She doesn't punish herself into a new identity. She just becomes 1% better every single day. Little progress is progress, and it compounds way faster than you think, because life changes through tiny micro habits, which is why you needed to break down your quarterly goals into supporting repeatable actions. This is the habit building portion. The being and the doing. A 15-minute walk every single day, cutting out sugar in 1 of your daily beverages, spending 15 minutes tidying up before bed, or a glass of water before coffee. These tiny choices may seem like it's not much, but they are the micro actions that act as your launch pad to doing more. 15-minute walks turn into hour-long walks with a podcast. Cutting out one sugary drink turns into cutting out added sugar completely. Going to bed 30 minutes earlier becomes sleeping an hour earlier and waking up earlier. You start reshaping your identity because you start learning how to choose differently. And you learn that you can choose differently, that you can do more with your free will. And with practice, it becomes easier to choose things that are better for you. This next part is so underrated. Your expansion phase. This is actually my personal favorite because this is the fun part. This is you really locking in your identity and letting her shine. Always remember to reward your small wins. Your brain responds really well to pleasure and not pressure. This is you giving yourself positive reinforcements so you are incentivized to keep doing what you're doing, maybe even doing it more and doing it better. But make sure when you're rewarding yourself, you're doing it properly. Like you're not actually creating more work for yourself and turning it into a negative effect. I made this mistake of rewarding myself with bubble baths and spa days at home. I mean, it sounds fun, but let me just tell you, scrubbing the tub before and after the bath was not really my definition of a reward. Okay, it made me not want to do it. Like a lot of girls think baths are a reward, and it can be, but if you're working on self-love and self-care, a bubble bath might be something you adopt into your becoming phase so you can reward yourself for doing it. Does that make sense? So think about things you actually want and things you really love. I love giving myself gifts, so those are usually always my rewards, and my rewards are always tied to whatever habit I'm trying to develop. So I'm stacking dopamine boosts on top of dopamine boosts. I would get myself a new pair of pajamas or a cute robe to wear after staying consistent with my everything showers and hair care routine. Or I would get myself a low sugar iced matcha when I finish a week of workout classes, or a fresh candle when I complete a book. Or if you don't want to spend money, go back to what worked for us as kids. Earn your own screen time. Like watch your favorite drama or scroll on social media after you do your chores or get laundry done. Or have a little cookie or a piece of chocolate when you've stayed consistent with your wellness habits. Things like that. Moving on to your integration season, this is where consistency and discipline comes into play. I want you to start thinking about discipline differently than what you're used to. It's not you forcing yourself to do things you don't want to do. It's about creating a life where your good habits feel easier to do than your bad ones. For example, I used to be a night owl. Okay, I used to be up all the time at 2 or 3 a.m. working, studying, watching shows, whatever. And I was so convinced that that was just how my circadian rhythm worked. I just wasn't a morning person. So waking up at 7 a.m. felt impossible. Trying to build a habit of waking up early when I refused to sleep early, of course that was hard. I made it hard. But then I started sleep training. Yes, it's not just for babies. And I started sleeping at 10:30 p.m. or 11 p.m. And all of a sudden, naturally waking up at 6:30 in the morning felt so easy. Now, it's easier for me to sleep early. It feels better to sleep early than to force myself to stay awake and stay up late. Or take going to the gym. Of course you dread going to the gym if after every workout you are exhausted and sore. But if you go to the gym to do a Pilates class you really enjoy and your girlfriends are there, or there's a cute guy you see there, or you like using the steam room there, there's an incentive for you to go that makes going enjoyable. And over time, you start feeling yucky when you don't work out. That's the identity integration and shift that happens. It takes time and consistency and you showing up day after day. This chapter of your life isn't about becoming someone new overnight. It's about co-creating a life that supports the woman you are becoming. Part of reinventing yourself is actually learning how to stop constantly reinventing yourself. You can't become your own dream girl if you keep interrupting her mid-formation. And we love doing that because it feels productive to keep changing and planning. It feels dramatic. It gives us the illusion of progress, but it's actually a survival response. It's what you do when you don't feel safe simply being the woman you're becoming. At some point, the most transformational thing you can do is to stop starting over. Stop rebuilding your identity from scratch. Stop labeling yourself as a work in progress. Because after you choose the woman you want to be, the next step is to just be her. Let the identity have time to settle. Let your habits mature. Let your nervous system catch up to your vision. You need stability and repetition, and it starts with 1% today. I love you, and I'm cheering for you. That's all the cake I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching until the end. I appreciate it so much. And if you enjoyed our chat today, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment to share your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next episode.